On this episode of the Rocklopedia Fakebandica, after our look at fake bands and children's animation, we take the time to focus on animation
after dark.
I was going to say of a more adult-themed nature, but not like filthy, so just like adult animation.
After dark.
You guys are really giving me the creeps now. We look at the bands of more adult-focused shows, and this is the Rocklopedia Fakebandica.
After dark.
Welcome to the Rocklopedia Fakebandica. I'm Charles. There's Alan.
Hello.
There's T-Mike.
Before dark.
And,
Messed it up.
and for this episode, we look into the world of animation again, but this time we look at the shows that are geared to adults. Not talking the Ralph Bakshi Fritz the Cat era.
Right. Yeah, no.
Not talking the Ralph Bakshi Mighty Mouse era. We're talking the Ralph Bakshi area that's in the PG-13 R range.
Ralph Bakshi and the Philosopher's Stone, I guess. Yeah.
Ralph Bakshi's Young Sheldon or something. I don't know. Somewhere in that middle. If you ever got in the middle, something like that. Right.
All
right.
T-Mike, why don't you start us off?
All right. Well, I picked BoJack Horseman. It's an adult animated Netflix show that ran from 2014 to 2018. And it's set in a world where there's humans and anthropomorphic animals who are basically treated like humans for the most part.
Right.
So the show is a tragic comedy, a sort of a black tragic comedy about BoJack, who is a horse, an alcoholic, drug addicted, washed up, has been, former 90s sitcom star who might have more emotional issues than all the characters from Steven Universe combined, which is saying something. That was the last show I did on the other animated special. So our first fictional musician from the show is BoJack himself.
Ooh.
He released a novelty song in 1991 called Do the BoJack, and it pops up in the show a few times, so we don't get to hear the full orchestrated version until the season 6 episode Angela from January 31st, 2020.
Now, boys and girls, if you want to do the BoJack, take your hands and put them on your lower back. Walk in a circle and strut. Wiggle your hips and jiggle your push away your troubles and pull up your pants, and that's how you do the BoJack dance.
So not only is that song a complete reference to the Simpsons novelty single Do the Bartman from all the way back in 1990, The fun fact to me is that since BoJack's is from 1991, it feels like BoJack was jumping on the Simpsons bandwagon at the time.
Yeah.
So it seems to like maybe the Simpsons were part of the BoJack universe. All right, so next we have Sarah Lynn. So she's voiced by Kristen Schaal. Sarah Lynn's a former child star, and then she turned into a 2000 dance pop diva, Britney Spears type parody. And of course, we all know Schaal is Mabel Pines from Gravity Falls, and she was in Flight of the Conchords as a rabid fan of the band and all sorts of other stuff.
She's been in 30 Rock. She's been in lots of
She's on Bob's Burgers. You know,
she's great. Yeah. I love her.
Possibly her as Louise on Bob's Burgers. I think she might be on the edge of, if not being in the Rocklopedia, because she's kind of...
Right, that's true. She's sung sometimes.
She's sung,
All right, we'll have to check that out. So anyway, Sarah Lynn was the human child star actress on BoJack's hit 90s sitcom called Horsing Around. In the August 22nd, 2014 episode Prickly Muffin, we flash back to 12 years after the sitcom when she became an adult and released her debut album titled I Am Sarah Lynn, which featured the hit single Prickly Muffin, which was her character's cutesy nickname back when she was a child actress. And here it's turned into a metaphor about... vaginas.
Why don't you touch my prickly muffin? My prickly muffin. Ooh, prickly and it's muffin and it's a
It's odd that she was also on 30 Rock, which had a muffin top, which also a
muffin-related
sexual song. Yeah.
Well, anyway, this won't be the last time we talk about vaginas and BoJack Horseman, I'm afraid.
Fantastic.
So that song is kind of weird. That song was recorded before they actually had it written and figured out. The show composer, Jesse Novak, said he had to edit Kristen Schaal's improvisational takes together And he finally came up with this song that's, early Britney Spears mixed with the Neptunes, with a whole lot of auto-tune you can hear in there.
That's like the worst possible way to do that to a song, I think.
Yeah, it's not good planning.
Most labor intensive.
Yeah. Now, in the present day of the show, which is another 12 years later after her album, Sarah Lynn's last few albums have tanked, and she's dismissed as a has-been, and she's turned into a drugs and booze-fueled self-destructing train wreck dating Andrew Garfield for some reason.
Well, he was a Spider-Man.
I don't know why.
It shouldn't be a mark against her.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it
She could have been dating a Batman.
I'm not saying
sure, yeah.
So anyway, in the That's Too Much Man episode of July 22nd, 2016, Sarah Lynn has finally turned her life around. She's gotten sober and clean. She's been that way for 9 months. But the split second BoJack calls to see if she wants to do drugs with him, she drops everything like a hot potato to do it, even revealing that she has tons of drugs stashed all over the house. Like, not just like in the drywall itself is drugs.
Wow.
She spends the entire episode relapsing on a weeks-long drug and booze bender with BoJack. And at the end of the episode, Wiz Khalifa, voicing himself, is on the Oscar awards ceremony, awarding her an Oscar for her song, Silly Banana Song, parenthesis, the love theme from the Nazi who played Yahtzee, parenthesis. Starring George Clooners as the Nazi, George
Clooners.
Yeah, not George Clooney, George Clooners.
Okay.
Anyway, she is super happy and impressed that she won this. It's too bad that when she finds out, she's in a sleazy motel room doing drugs with BoJack. Now, spoiler alert, she tragically dies at the end of the episode.
That's dark.
And all she wanted was to be an architect, man.
Wow.
All right, next we have hot new singer Sextina Aquafina. She's voiced by Aisha Tyler. She is, quote, a sexy 14-year-old dubstep wunderkind, unquote, and anthropomorphic dolphin. Pop singer Sextina grew up on the music of Sarah Lynn and idolized her, but now thinks it's time for Lynn to go away since, she's 30 and all. Sextina's single is called My Clitoris is Ginormous.
Okay.
So I looked into this claim about dolphins and their sexual organs.
Did you now?
Of course.
Your search history is disgusting.
Oh, man. Yeah.
And to quote Dr. Patricia Brennan, an evolutionary biologist at Mount Holyoke College in Massachusetts, an actual academic, she says, quote, you open it up and there's this giant clitoris right there, unquote. The New York Times, the great lady of journalism, describes them as, quote, the size of a AA battery and the color of spam, unquote. So that song title is 100% accurate. Anyway, so Sextina is back in the Brat Brat Pew Pew episode a few episodes later, only now she's voiced by Daniel Gaither in the subsequent seasons.
Okay.
And we should mention that Aisha Tyler, we've actually mentioned her before in the show. She voiced Lana from Archer, and so she played in one of the Coma seasons, she played a jazz singer.
Oh, right,
right.
She has she's got two under her belt.
A couple fake bands.
One of the main characters of the show, Diane, who's a human voiced by Allison Brie, she's now in charge of Sextina's Twitter account, back when Twitter was still Twitter and not a letter.
Okay.
So Diane accidentally uses that account to tweet, I'm having an abortion, because Diane, is actually having one. But before she can get fired, the tweet starts trending, and everyone starts calling Sextina brave for being so open about it. So Sextina decides to roll with it because, it's going viral. She chooses to empower herself to destigmatize abortion for all women everywhere by dropping a new pro-choice single called Get Dat Fetus, Kill Dat Fetus.
I'm a baby killer. Baby killing makes me horny. Aliens inside me. We're gonna squash it like some goody. Gonna get that fetus, kill that fetus, get that fetus, kill that fetus. Kill, kill. Yo,
Stop the tape. Glasses. You did this.
Face bitches in my cross face. Have abortions sometimes. No, I'ma have abortions always. Kill that fetus, get that fetus, kill that fetus. Kill, 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 kill.
Wow. Whoa.
Wow, that's out there. Wow. There that is.
I did point out that this was about adult themed
we did.
animation.
Yeah, absolutely did. Because we're an audio-only podcast, you can't see the music video that accompanies this song with the coat hanger spaceship firing lasers at a space fetus.
Wow.
But I still wish you couldn't see that. Obviously, in the show, this causes a lot of controversy, and liberal Diane wants serious treatment of this issue. And then Sextina announces in an interview she's going to have her abortion live on pay-per-view. So her agent, Princess Carolyn, who's a cat, helps her fake it. Diane is so mad she's going to rat them out of the press. But at the planned Parrothood abortion clinic, she meets a teen who found strength from Sextina's song. So she doesn't rat them out. The fake live pay-per-view goes great. Goes great, actually. Very educational for all involved. At the end of the episode, Sextina finds out she's actually pregnant for real, but wants to keep it. So then Diane and Carolyn plot how to hide the pregnancy so Sextina can later claim she adopted a baby.
I like how it has all this dark content, but also just the ridiculous, wacky 70s, like, hide the baby.
Yeah. So, all right, next up we have Todd Chavez. He is BoJack's omnipresent house guest and whipping boy. He's a human, voiced by Aaron Paul. He's a slacker layabout sponging off BoJack, and BoJack passively aggressively likes having him around. In the Zoe's and Zelda's episode of August 2014, Todd reveals he's been composing a sci-fi rock opera entitled, Newtopia Rising, Book 1, The Search for a New Utopia. Todd describes it as Tommy, by way of Cirque du Soleil, set in space with heavy erotic overtones and the gripping psychodrama of a thriller with plenty of heart and more than a little humor.
All right.
And it starts in 1887 with a young Emma Goldman and ends 5 hours later. And here's what that sounds like. This is not a medley. It's a montage.
Fine, just play the music.
We learned a lot and had some laughs, but they couldn't make us slaves. No, they couldn't make us slaves. No, they couldn't make us.
1, 2. Slaves, just say slaves.
All right, so first, BoJack insults the hell out of that and him. Diane talks BoJack into helping Todd, so he reluctantly does so at first, but then he gets into it, actually helps Todd write it, helps it get into actual production as a stage musical, but just when it looks like it could be a big success, Todd gets re-addicted to an old video game that caused him to drop out of high school. He stays up all night playing the game, and then he blows the meeting with the investors the next day, and it's all torpedoed. Then it turns out that BoJack planted the game for Todd to find, deliberately sabotaging him and ending Todd's musical career.
Uncool, man.
Not cool. But later, much later in season...
Charles, uncool horse, I believe it.
Evil and intimidating horse.
Yes.
So much later in the season 4 episode, Hooray, Todd episode, Todd is now playing the triangle for a major Los Angeles orchestra.
That's okay. Got to land on his feet.
Yeah, good for him. Also in the Yesterdayland episode in 2015, Todd builds a terrible theme park, which has its own lemur DJ voiced by Phil Lamar, but he doesn't get a name.
Well, Phil Lamar's done a ton of things.
Yeah,
he's great.
Yeah.
There's also an unnamed scorpion DJ at a high school prom and another 2015 episode called Escape from LA. Actually, BoJack shoves that guy aside to play the Do the BoJack song for the kids.
Nice.
But let's move on to an actual named group here, Spectrum of Enchantment. This is the band of Judah Manodog, who, despite the last half of his last name, is actually the first half of his last name. I mean, he's a man, not a dog. He's a human. I phrased that poorly. Anyway, he's the heavily bearded and man-bunned dedicated assistant to Princess Carolyn. Did you know that Princess Carolyn, her character, is from Eden, North Carolina?
This is the cat.
Huh?
Yes,
the cat lady.
I did not know that.
No.
Yes. So Judah is voiced by Diedrich Bader.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah, he's a good character actor. Judah is in this small-time band, and in the Angela episode from January 31st, 2020, the whole office is going to his gig, but when a big important project comes up at the last minute, he's ready to skip the gig, but Carolyn says, no, I got it, you go. So at the club, we see the rest of the band. We see 3 female members, a fox lady on stand-up bass, a pink-haired human on drums, and a human goth keyboardists. And on the wall of the flyer, if you use your freeze frame, you see a flyer for Good Band. Opening for Good Band is Almost as Good Band. And another band, Obscure but Brilliant Band at the Zebralon. Alan, you're a big fan of Obscure but Brilliant Band, aren't you?
I followed Brilliant but Obscure around the country
I'm
for
sorry.
several years.
I got those mixed up.
Anyway, I think I saw Almost a Good Band once.
So the big project stresses Carolyn out so much, she has to get out. She goes to see the show, but Judah left to go back to the office to be with her. So she goes back to the office where they finally meet up and he plays her a love song.
I don't write good love songs. I'm not adept with metaphors or rhymes. I just want to describe the things I know. And the only thing I know is that I love you. Please believe me when I tell you I love you, Princess Carolyn.
Aww.
So he's in love with this boss, Princess Carolyn, and we find out later they get married a few episodes later.
Okay.
All right, next we have a little quick one here. In the episode The Old Sugarman Place from 2017, it's partially flashbacks of BoJack's family from 1944, like his grandparents. And it starts off with them listening to a record of Jimmy Dorsal singing The Beautiful Girls of 1944, just to make sure you know it's the year 1944.
Okay.
All the beautiful gals of 44 fill my head when I'm off to war.
Now, that's a parody of real 40s band leader, clarinetist, and hitmaker Jimmy Dorsey, who's a dolphin. I mean, not Dorsey, Dorsal. I phrased that poorly again. So anyway, the 40s is when, clarinetists rule the chart. Crazy, crazy times. In the same episode, we see BoJack's grandmother, Honey Sugarman, and her son, Cracker Jack. Honey is voiced by Jane Krakowski from 30 Rock. And Cracker Jack by Lin-Manuel Miranda. Both characters are amateur singers, and Cracker Jack also plays the piano, and he and Honey perform their favorite song, I Will Always Think of You.
Not now, you two.
Oh, we'll be as quick as a pour of warm molasses. I will always think of you.
Drink a brew, I'll see your face
now,
when each day's through.
And days go past.
Oh, so fast, but memories they last.
And that is a really well done pastiche of a 40 song. I thought it was a real 40 song at first. And later in the episode, there's a present day character named Eddie, played by Coleman Domingo. He ends up singing the song, and they do this very interesting juxtaposition where Eddie sings the song in the present, Honey sings it in the past, and they put the two together like they're doing a duet almost. It's very well done. All right, so the next one is Iffy. I need a ruling here, okay? All right, so this is Gina Cazador is the name of the character. She's voiced by Stephanie Beatriz.
Oh, she's in
Rosa Diaz on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah. And she was also in Encanto, which was the songs written by Lin-Manuel Miranda. So
there you go.
They have a little connection there. Yeah.
So anyway, she's a C-level actress, but her childhood dream was to be a singer on Broadway, but she never followed up on it. She's BoJack's co-star in a new series, and in the Planned Obsolescence episode in 2018, BoJack gives her a shot to sing on the show in character in an episode, but her last-minute audition for the producers for singing a song from a musical about corn goes like this.
Maybe if I could find my old journals, they'll help me to grind new kernels. Ah, shucks, I have the willpower to create this mill tower. We'll be quite a pair, though I'll be my own scarecrow. It's not just a phase, this female inventor craze. If it takes years or days, I'm gonna solve this maze. 'Cause I was born for the corn.
It's not good. It's not good. But she had no training. She had no time to practice. It was a last-minute thing. She just really loves this song from the musical about corn. So she doesn't ever really sing again. But what do you guys think? Do you think she counts?
She's just auditioning with this song, right?
Yeah.
So it's not really a performance yet.
Well, I mean, I think she's performing for the people, for the two agents and BoJack right there. I kind of think it counts because that's her dream, even though it never really got followed up on, and she did get to sing once. So I think I might include that.
I'm fine.
That's fine.
All right.
I'm not typing it up. Put it in.
All right. Just a quick mention. They do have an episode has a scene set at Oberlin College, the real world Oberlin College. Shows the a cappella group, the Obertones.
Oh, what a terrible name.
Yeah.
But that's a real Oberlin group.
Oh.
I just wanted to quick mention.
My apologies to the Obertones out there and their terrible name.
I just wanted a quick aside, though, that's fun, is that one of the members of the Obertones is an albino squirrel, which is Oberlin's mascot, named Yobi.
So that's really their mascot.
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
That's their real mascot, but I like that they made him an animated guy in the.
So somebody in this production went to Oberlin.
That's what I figure.
If only Matt listened to our podcast.
Anyway,
we can quit talking about him. He's never going to listen.
All right. So next up, we have the Beatles.
Hey, I know them.
No, spelled the bug way with 2 E's.
Oh.
All right. So in a flashback in the BoJack Hates the Troops episode,
not a good thing to be talking about.
In the 2014 episode, BoJack recalls his parents' troubled marriage, and the scene starts with this quick gag of his dad holding a newspaper with the headline that this band of actual Beatles is announcing their breakup. It shows the cover of their Hard Shell's Night album. And so this is kind of oddly problematic in a world building sense because Paul McCartney, the real life Beatles member, is a celebrity in the world of BoJack. So he gets mentioned a couple times, actually shows up in an episode voiced by the real Paul McCartney. Was Paul McCartney in a band with a different name that wasn't other than the Beatles?
Like Wings?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that was after the Beatles. So anyway.
He could just be big from Wings.
He
maybe,
could.
Maybe BoJack is in the same crap universe as that Yesterday movie.
So anyway, that's all there is really. But just to wrap up, the show did have real singers, Laura Leggett-Linney and Lance Bass of NSYNC.
Bass.
Damn it, I always do that. Lance Bass of NSYNC appear on the show playing themselves. And most of the show's music was done by composer Jesse Novak, who has done the music for a bunch of other shows. Interesting factoid, his brother is BJ Novak, who was Ryan on The Office. And Jesse did a bunch of great music for BoJack. Unfortunately, I don't have an excuse to play here because he did all these different styles. He did all these great fake TV show themes, like, BoJack's he did this great 90s themes.
Mm-hmm.
And he did like a generic 80s song, generic 90s grunge song, generic 2007 pop song. But there's no fake band names or singers for any of those. So.
Well, that was a lot. Thank you, T-Mike. After the break, we look at 2 more shows with fake bands, one of which might take place where some of us live.
Ooh.
This is the Rocklopedia Fakebandica. Okay, we are back, and may I be the first to welcome you all to Dicktown.
You're going to give me flack for Clarissa's, but now you're going to talk about Dicktown. Nice.
With a name like Dicktown, you can guess the appropriate audience for this show that lasted 20 episodes on FXX from 2020 to 2022. And you'd be right, but I'm still going to mention it because we have a connection. Dicktown is what the locals have named Richardsville.
Oh, okay.
A small college town in North Carolina, which is based on Chapel Hill, North Carolina, where the Rocklopedia Fakebandica is based and where 2 of us live.
That's right.
Raise the roof, y'all.
There are a few inside jokes for residents in the show, thanks to co-creator David Reese, who grew up here.
Oh, nice.
Reese and John Hodgman played David Purefoy and John Hunchman, 2 Gen X guys who have a detective agency and are having trouble growing up. Hunchman was a great boy detective solving lots of cases in high school, most of which were committed by Purefoy. But now Purefoy works for Hunchman.
That's smart because it keeps the crime rate down. You hire the guys making all the trouble.
And now these best friends still run a detective agency, and their clients are still high school kids, which is a bad look for men in their 40s.
Yeah.
A very bad look. The first season was straight up Scooby-Doo cases. But the second season had 2 overarching plots, a Cape Fear kind of plot concerning a woman falsely accused in high school, and the men's quest to finally grow up.
Okay.
It's in the first season, though, where we get our only mention of fake bands. This is just the only reason why I get to talk about Dicktown at all. And talk about Chapel Hill.
All right, fair.
In episode 5, The Mystery of the Mumbling Rapper, John Hunchman finds out that his father has decided to use his retirement time and savings to become a mumble rap impresario. It sounds like a bad idea, but that's because you didn't realize he has signed Little Blurp.
Oh, Little Blurp.
Little Blurp. Okay.
Little Blurp. Little Blurp is a young kid barely out of prep school, but this tattoo-covered Bieber-looking wannabe can mumble and drink lean with the best of them, and is one of the hottest mumble rappers in the area.
Oh, the whole area.
In the whole area. Dad invites John and David to an abandoned shopping mall to see the video shoot of Little Blurp's hit song, Papa Zany.
Paper. Now just give me paper. I just want the paper. Oh, yeah? I don't know.
Wowie McGowie, this is bad.
I'm Papa Zinny. Haters get wetted by my 9. Papa Zinny.
Oh my God,
Haters
Dad,
get
how much money did you
wetted by
invest
my
in this
line.
project?
Yeah, it turns out that Little Blurp has a competitor in the Dicktown Mumble Rap game, Lil Drunk.
Oh, man.
In the words of Little Blurp, he's a rainbow dreadlocked no talent bitch. To a more impartial listener, he's the less talented rainbow dreadlocked mumbler who had a lion in his last video, which is why Little Blurp decided he needed up the ante with 10 ocelots.
Whoa, 10?
Things are.
I didn't know that was the exchange rate. I didn't realize that big cats were metric.
Well, no, but that's it's probably less than 10 ocelots for one lion because he's upping the ante.
Oh, he's upping the ante.
So it's probably like 8 ocelots per lion.
Could be, you know.
Come on, go to decimalization. The British learned this, so come on.
I think it's like 2.75 ocelots per lion.
Things are tense on the set, especially with the director, Ryan Riz McClurkle, when we find out that the animal wrangler was drugged on lean and the 10 ocelots have been freed.
Uh-oh.
Do you guys know what lean is?
No.
Yeah.
It's
like purple drank.
It's purple drain.
Oh, okay. All right.
So John and David find the ocelots and solve the case because it was the director, of course, who's also Little Drunk's manager, because why not?
Yeah. Okay.
Right? These shows are like, 12 minutes long.
I'm surprised the ocelots weren't drugged on lean.
They can't waste time giving the audience clues to try to solve it or anything.
Right.
But that's all we know music-wise about Dicktown.
Dicktown, okay.
All right. Have a slightly larger one coming up next. So I'm going to go back to our oldest IP we're going to be talking about this show, and we're talking about the Boondocks.
Right.
Which dates actually back to 1996 when Aaron McGruder was
30 years ago.
I know, insane. He started publishing the Boondocks as a comic strip on hitlist.com, which is a music site that almost no one remembers. It was an early music news site.
I don't even remember.
Yeah, no, I don't remember it either. Long dead, and it's like archives are gone, so it's almost impossible to find these. I mean, if Magruder would have to like rescan these or recreate these, probably, yeah. It later appeared in the Diamondback, which was the student paper of Maryland College Park, where he was in college then, and then later on it got picked up by The Source, and then finally in 1999 it got picked up by Universal Press Syndicate and went live. So that was when it really,
big time. Yeah, that's
live.
the big time.
Okay,
he jumped from like college paper for a few years to.
That's an impressive leap there.
Yeah. He leapt kind of like Doonesbury-wise right into the op-ed pages because a lot of papers, it was almost immediately controversial. It's very, very political, very socially aware, but very snarky and rude and
a lot of commentary.
Commentary. So it ended up on the op-ed page a lot of times. But the strip in the show that came out of it are roughly based on Magruder's actual life. He was born in Chicago, just like the characters Riley and Huey Freeman. And then his folks moved him to Columbia, Maryland, which is not really the Boondocks. It's actually, it's a fairly large town, but compared to Chicago, very white also compared to Chicago, So the story centers on these two brothers, Huey and Riley Freeman, who were moved from the mean streets of Chicago by their grandfather to the upscale Maryland suburb of Woodcrest.
Isn't this the plot of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Kind of, a little bit, yeah. But basically, Robert, in an early strip, he explained, like, he's lived almost 70 years as a black man, not owning a house, not really. He really wanted to retire to this place, and it didn't matter if the people in his new neighbors didn't like him. He was going to live here and be happy, and they were like, well, we don't want to live in the suburbs. And he's like, well, it doesn't matter if you like me either. It's a very funny, the strip is very funny. So in the show, Huey and Riley are both voiced by Regina King, who's a great voice actress, and Robert is voiced by the immortal John Witherspoon. Ooh, wow. And it's like his voice, it's like once you hear it, it's like, oh man, John Witherspoon. Yeah, he was great.
I think it's an interesting choice they made animation style. They went this anime style.
Well, yeah, that was Magruder's a real fan of anime, and so he
that was
like
the
is
driving
very
force,
inspired by that. Yeah, so he's very inspired by that. But even the manga look of the strip was like very much. He's
it
very
was
much,
that way from the beginning. Yeah.
His focus from the very beginning was kind of satirizing black culture and especially hip hop culture. So there's both the strip and the show, there's tons of mentions of real performers, and so that caused actually a lot of problems for the thing. Probably one of the most famous ones were the Washington Post actually pulled the strip for a full week because they had a thing where Huey was wrote a personal ad for a Condoleezza Rice that included line, female Darth Vader type seeks loving male to torture. Yeah.
Oh, brother.
And then also when it was adapted for Adult Swim, they did a parody of Tyler Perry as a character Winston Jerome. And so they didn't basically parodying the Medea and the cross-dressing.
Oh, right.
It really pissed Tyler Perry off to the point where he was re-examining his ties to Turner Broadcasting, because he was doing House of Pain and he had like another show on there, I believe, and so he was there was a lot of trouble caused there. So, but there are a few fake bands in musical acts we want to explore, and I'll start with the strip because that was the older of them.
Okay.
So in the Diamondback strip, I don't think he ever appeared in the ones that were actually syndicated. There was a character, Hiro Otoma, who was a Japanese-American kid in school with Huey. He was like one of his friends, and he was an aspiring DJ, but he only had a few appearances, and you can see it on some of the archived stuff from the Diamondback, but it's not really ever in I don't think it's in any of the print anthologies. Then there's Michael Caesar, who usually went by Caesar, and he was an important character in the strip. He was Huey's best friend, and he was an aspiring MC, and his role was kind of to temper the bleak cynicism of Huey Freeman. I mean, that's like he's always very cynical, he presents himself as a radical revolutionary, but also like kind of hopeless in a lot of ways. So
nihilist, maybe?
Nihilist a little bit, yeah. So he's a mediating influence. And the strip occasionally would throw in like one-off bands as like just kind of gags. I mean, there's one that we had that's in the Rocklopedia is like one from November 12, 2002. It has these two speakers decrying violence in rap after Jam Master Jay was shot, and they're like, "Oh, there doesn't need to be all this
tragedy.
Violence in rap, and I don't know why you have to have so much gunplay." And then they reveal that the characters speaking are the rappers Shotguns and Uzi of the local rap group East Side Killers. So there's a lot of that kind of like satirical element.
Yeah.
So the show was adapted for Adult Swim, and this was this is like the second generation of Adult Swim stuff, because the first one was they kind of reworked old Hanna-Barbera stuff, like Sea Lab 2021, Space Ghost,
Coast to Coast.
Yeah.
And then Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
That was kind of like 1.5, because that was a spinoff of the Space Ghost. And then, but this is like when the Venture Brothers came on, and they were pumping money. And so they had a lot of money. And this show is very well produced. The music is great. I mean, it's worth watching just for listen to it. Yeah. But I mean, the list of guest stars on this show is like, Ed Asner, Charlie Murphy, Adam West, Cat Williams, Terry Crews, Samuel L. Jackson, Mos Def, Sway Calloway, Quincy Jones, Judge Reinhold, Exhibit, John McGinley, Mark Hamill, Werner Herzog, Billy D. Williams, Snoop Dogg, Monique, Marion Ross from Happy Days.
Oh, wow.
Ghostface Killer, who actually plays a ghost, and they even comment the fact he's not actually dead. Aisha Tyler again, Tachina Arnold, Cedric the Entertainer, Lil Wayne, CeeLo Green, Fred Willard, who we love, Tavis Smiley, Donald Faison. I mean, like so many people.
Wow, that's a lot of
big
names.
Huge. They had a lot of
or at least people I enjoy.
Yeah.
That list.
The first fake musician that played a major role was Gangstalicious, and he was voiced by Mos Def. Who's a
real rapper.
Yeah.
That's a great name.
The December 11th, 2005 episode, The Story of Gangstalicious. And weirdly, a lot of the music ones are the story of,
Okay.
So he's in a feud with another rapper named Eat Dirt.
That's a good one. I like that name.
So they have a chair throwing fight at the award shows, and then it culminates for them in a fight in a Miami nightclub where they both pull guns on each other and then manage to shoot themselves each.
With their own guns.
With their own guns, yeah. Gangstalicious then vows, and this is after Ja Rule and 50 Cent and all that kind of like a lot of people getting shot at the time. And so Gangstalicious vowed he's never going to get shot again, only to get shot on stage while performing his latest song, I Got Shot.
I got shot. I got shot. I got shot. I got shot. No, I got shot for real. I got shot for real. No, goddamn it, I got shot. Nigga shot me. I'm bleeding. I'm gonna die. Somebody please help me. Help me.
It was 45 minutes before anyone called an ambulance.
Okay. And that's a running gag. He also has a song later that he called Play It for a Jury that gets played for a jury.
Okay.
Riley idolizes him, But at 8 years old, he's a little young to understand some of the subtext of his songs like Thuggin' Love and Homies Over Hoes.
Homies over homies, homies over homies, homies over homies. Do the homie, do the homie, do the homie, do the homie. You never catch a list, rolling with no beards, cause bitches ain't shit. This on my crew is thick, a bunch of knuckles.
That beat is alright.
Ball heads and jizz, nigga, we hating on them hoes like we hit the fizz. Bitch, can't you see? Fall back away from me. Me and my niggas just in the VIP. Now bump it to the left and bump it to the right, cause when you do the homie, nigga, got to do it right.
Oh my God, this is crazy.
The Gruder kind of went back to the theme of homophobia and like black men and the rap industry several times throughout the run of the Boondocks. And this is something he would kind of poke on every now and then. But Gangsta-licious reappears in the Story of Gangsta-licious 2 episode.
Who would expect that?
From February 4th, 2008. And this is the episode where he gets outed, actually.
Oh, okay.
So he's outed in front of Riley in the first episode, but then in this one, he gets publicly outed. And we also meet MC Booty B and Homo D, 2 rappers from the 80s who lost their careers when they came out.
Huh.
And I don't know how Homo D was closeted, but
Well,
yeah.
well, that's short for homo-ner. Yeah.
That's an old joke from our show.
Yeah. I mean, we're all homo-ners.
Yes.
You know.
That was a good show.
That was a good show, yeah.
Back then.
Most of the fake musical acts in the show, though, center on the Dirty South rapper Thugnificent. Well, I
Okay,
think
that's even better than Gangsta-licious.
Thugnificent is great, and his Lethal Interjection crew. Which is great.
That's really good writing.
Their chain is a microphone that goes into a syringe. It's actually really, I mean, it's very, Magruder's got a great imagination. Thugnificent's real name is Otis Jenkins, and he's voiced by Carl Jones, who's primarily a writer and a producer. He's not actually an actor, but he does a great job with him. Like, clearly they introduced him as like a one-shot kind of character, but I think they had so much fun with him that they brought him back multiple. He's a really fun, goofy character. He's basically a guy who grew up poor, and he wrote these really simplistic, kind of stupid raps, but they got popular in clubs, and then he just let success go to his not very bright head. Okay. And Riley describes him at one point as a musical genius, except for the fact that he can't read, write, or compose music. I have the same problem.
So do I.
Yeah. You guys are musical geniuses then.
We should collaborate sometime.
Thugnificent, yeah. In his first appearance, the Story of Thugnificent.
There it is again.
November 5, 2007. He's already hugely famous, and he rides into town ghostwriting on his Hummer, playing his anthem, Booty Butt Cheeks.
Wait, I know that song.
That song, one of the fun things is that the songs that they wrote this, they pop up in the background and other things. Sometimes you'll just be watching another scene like, hey, that's Booty Butt Cheeks.
Okay.
But it pops up, and he also another Thugnificent tune that shows up normally whenever there's a fight. It's called Stomp 'em in the Nuts. So whenever there's a fight, a lot of times that song will be playing in the background.
Okay.
Once again, adult-themed show here, people.
Yeah. Thugnificent has bought the massive mansion across the street from the Freemans, and he very quickly kind of tackies it up with all these statues of himself and like has Greek gods, and he's throwing huge parties and with the rest of the Lethal Interjection crew. And so the rest of the crew includes
we actually get names.
We actually get the names. We get not just names, we get stage names, we also get real names.
Ooh.
Mac-tastic, his real name is James Adam Miller, and he's a Native American rapper, and he's also a former pimp, and he's voiced by Snoop Dogg.
Wow, Native American.
Yeah.
Great choice.
Flonomial, which is a good name. Real name Derek Cornish. He was voiced by Busta Rhymes in his first appearance, and then they had to replace him by Adam Gordon. I think Busta was touring at the time, and so he would come. And then Leonard. And Leonard is kind of this dork hanger-on. He was like basically a roommate. He didn't really seem to be a rapper, but he was like a good friend to Thugnificent. He's part of the crew, but he wasn't actually, one of the rappers. The parties and all the noise irritate all the neighbors, especially Granddad, and so he complains to the HOA. And so Thugnificent responded with the song F Granddad on Outer Scope Records.
Okay, instead of Interscope, Outer Scope, yeah.
That's how you do it, right?
Yeah.
No HOA battles.
Go right to the diss track.
Yeah.
You're just mad cause your ass is old. First thing you do is just pick up the phone. Lethal Interjection living
So he also makes a music video in the same vein as the one for Dre Day. So there's like, which had a like sleazy E, you know, like a guy.
Yeah.
And so
who we have in the site?
He's on the site. So there's a guy kind of playing this goofy version of Granddad. And there's a really great meta joke here where Granddad said that the guy playing him in the video looks like the dad from Friday, which was played by John Witherspoon.
Okay, nice.
So it was a nice little gag there. So Granddad responds with his own diss track.
So now Granddad's
he's also in
a
there,
rapper.
Yes.
Okay, wow, we got to get him in there.
And his diss track is produced by the real rapper Exhibit, and who had actually appeared as himself earlier, because that was when he was doing his Pimp My Ride stuff on MTV.
Okay,
so he'd pimped Granddad's ride earlier. So Robert Freeman also gets the Rocklopedia for this diss track.
Yeah, this rap go out to Punknificent in all his fame. Yeah. Oh, punk ass Nificent never went to high school. That's why he's a mother fool. Mama was a fool. Daddy was too. You wanna be like Thugnificent? Don't go to school, fool.
Nice.
Not quite the same flow. I do like mother fool. It's a good insult, you know? Thugnificent and Granddad eventually make peace after the diss track start to lead to a rash of crimes against the elderly.
Oh, dear.
But it's great. They ends with them hugging it out, but they're both still like trading muttered insults. And Thugnificent kind of laid low for a while. He didn't pop up again until there's 2 back-to-back episodes in the 3rd season, which were great episodes. The first one, It's a Black President, Huey Freeman, from May 2nd, 2010, and then Bitches to Rags on May 9th. It's a Black President, Huey Freeman was a fake German documentary narrated by the real Werner Herzog.
Oh, wow.
Like in full-on Werner Herzog style.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah.
And it's all about Barack Obama's election and Huey's kind of cynical reaction to the election and just kind of the over hype of it. And one of the threads, it's like kind of a multi-threaded story, but one of the threads involves Thugnificent deciding that it's time for him to grow up and be political. So he puts on a bow tie and a jacket.
Of course.
And he collaborates with Will.i.am on the amazing song Dick Riding Obama.
Dick riding Obama, Dick riding for tomorrow, dick riding for today, dick riding for the straight, dick riding for the gay, dick riding for America, dick riding for rock. It's okay to ride that dick just as long as it's Barack's, and now we're there, dick riding Obama. Now we're there, dick riding Obama.
I love that song. I actually was like listening to it on Spotify on the way over here. It is such a catchy song. Will.i.am did really good on this song. I believe he wrote it. You should look up the video on YouTube because they animate George Clooney, who of course was a big Obama supporter, and he's just throwing it down, dancing. And it's
You sure that's not George Clooners?
No, it's not George Clooney.
It's George Clooney, not George Clooney. Okay.
Sadly, as MC Robert Frost once rhymed, leaf subsides to leaf, so Eden sank to grief, so dawn goes down to day, nothing gold can stay. And in the Bitches to Rags episode of May 9th, Thugnificent's rap career is fading. It is falling down. Nothing gold records can stay because he hasn't released an album in 4 years, and so he's an oldies act, and his sales have been eclipsed by Sergeant Gutter, who's a 15-year-old rapper whose big hit is Crank That Artichoke.
Crank that artichoke, yeah, artichoke. Crank that artichoke, yeah, artichoke. Crank that artichoke, yeah, artichoke. Crank that artichoke, yeah. Do that dance, why me do that dance? I gotta do that dance, why me crank that artichoke, yeah, artichoke. He hate to hear the word I spoke. Every time I do that dance, he hate it, they don't want it though, yeah.
So yeah, it's basically Crank That Soldier Boy. Yeah, and
who's that by?
That's Soldier Boy. That was actually a parody of
by Soldier Boy.
Yeah,
Okay.
so yeah,
All right, sorry.
15-year-old sergeant.
Yeah, 15-year-old sergeant. Yeah, and no one seems to know how to actually, whether it's gutta or guttata. It's like the spellings are all over the map on the internet.
Weird.
But I'm going with just Sergeant Gutter. That's how we have in the site. Thugnificent, meanwhile, has gone all in on auto-tune, and they show Riley hearing it, which again, this was like very overdone by this point, and 2010, and he was like, it's kind of overdone, warns him, but so Thug goes on to the actual real DJ Vlad, an animated version of DJ Vlad, to promote his new album, Mo Bitches, Mo Problems. He's trying to sound current because, he's so old.
His older than like Sarah Lynn old.
His album came out 4 years ago. They kept hammering on this about so some of the albums he lists, and this is some of the musicians he's been listening to.
He's a new trying to prove he's hip.
Yeah,
these are new rappers.
He's reading it off a list. I'm like out of a notebook. Young Cow Tipper, Jock Daddy Pimp, Lil Hobnobba, Goo Goo de Bone Mouth,
what?
Little Rich, Esbot and Rose, Willie Whistle Worksy,
what?
Trick Money Smitty, Lil Fanta, Pew Boy Pimp, Nasty Murda Trey, Epis Green, Lil Big Dollar, and Snow Bunny Sampson.
Okay.
Notice that Sergeant Gutter is not in the list.
Oh, it's true?
Yeah, he insults him and then starts a beef. And then Thugnificent's album comes out and it sells no copies according to SoundScan.
Oh, wow.
So he gets dropped by his label. Sergeant Gutter then mocks him on YouTube. It includes calling his mother, who chastises him for picking a fight with a 15-year-old. And then the lethal injection crew basically falls apart. Lonomiel goes and gets an office job. Mactastic goes back to pimping. And then Thug and Leonard try to make money by selling crack. But they don't know how to make crack. So they actually watch a video for a song, Show You How to Make Crack, which is a video by an animated version of Metaphor the Great, but he's an actual rapper.
Okay,
they don't credit it to anyone other than him, so I guess it's just an animated version of this song he wrote for the show, but it still doesn't count as a fake musician. And then they have a great scene where it's a parody of the drug dealing scene in Boogie Nights, where the shootout is there, and but in the end, Thugnificent is, not successful anymore. He's going back to being Otis, and he becomes a driver for UPS. But he still has dreams of stardom, and we see him ghostwriting the UPS truck in while Leonard is taping him for a video show.
Oh, a reality show. Oh, okay. Hoping he can be in a reality show. Okay.
Thugnificent, weirdly, there was a bunch of characters. So there were 3 seasons with Aaron Magruder's involvement, and then there was a 4th where he was not involved. He was kind of over. Yeah, he was looking to see if they could make a movie adaptation, and I think he was kind of burned out on it. So, season 4, Thugnificent didn't return in that season, which is too bad.
He's done.
As I mentioned, most of the satire centered on hip hop, but they did actually, I will say, in season 3, they did broaden their musical palette a little bit in the Story of Jimmy Rebel.
Another story.
Yeah, the Story of Jimmy Rebel from May 23rd, 2010. That May was a big month for fake bands for them. And they have 3 big episodes about fake bands. Jimmy Rebel is this racist country singer whose songs include a whole lot of titles that I do not feel comfortable reading out loud. I don't want that.
Okay.
I don't want that on tape, So many N-words.
All right. We could say clitorises, but we're not going to say N-words.
Yeah.
Professionals have standards, people.
Weirdly, he looks like they had a picture of Jerry Reed.
The 70s, 80s country singer. Yeah.
He was in all those Burt Reynolds movies, but he was like a country singer on his own. Yeah, but I was like, that's Jerry Reed, but he's actually a parody of very thinly of a real white supremacist country singer named Johnny Rebel.
Oh God, there's a real one.
1, 2, 3, step back, silverback, hold on, blackie, steal some gas for your Cadillac. Head downtown with them coons and clowns, just stay away from me. Laquita, Shanita, and Jamal, Orangelo, Mangelo, and Tylenol. Grab an orange soda and a basketball, just leave my daughter be. Keep to yourself, stay away from mine. Open your eyes and mouth so I can see you shine. Open up your nose, put in a fresh bone. Just leave my snow-driven beauty, Caucasian cutie, pure demure and classically snooty, sweet white daughter alone.
Jimmy Rebel, again, this weird racist country singer. He's voiced by Greg Travis, who's a stand-up comedian who you guys may remember as Randy the rodeo clown from Shakes the Clown.
Yeah. You boys ever been kicked in the head by a bull?
It's a great character.
Very obscure favorite movie of ours.
He's been in a bunch of actually fairly high-profile movies just as small roles, but yeah, he's fun in this. And naturally, of course, the one character in the show who loves Jimmy Rebel is the self-hating Uncle Ruckus, who is the racist black man who hates black people. He's voiced by Gary Anthony Williams, who's amazing. He's an amazing voice actor. And Uncle Ruckus is like one of the standout characters. You've probably seen pictures of. He has the one weird glass eye.
Right, yeah. Kind of a Popeye.
Yeah. They end up bonding over their hatred for black people, and they decide that they're going to record an album and perform together. But the fans...
okay. So now Uncle Ruckus is a fictional musician.
Yes, but the fans can't see past Ruckus's skin color.
Yeah.
So Jimmy realizes, though, that after performing with a black man, he actually, there's you don't have to be about his music, doesn't have to be hate. You could sing about all kinds of things like friends, beer, nature, and what they end up singing about, racist songs about Mexicans. So just redirect the racism. And fourth season...
Does that count as progress at all?
I don't know. Yeah. And there's only really the only musical characters who appear in season 4, and actually there's one more in that I should mention. I mentioned Winston Jerome, which was also season 3. Eric, he does an incredible entry. He's the Tyler Perry parody, and he does this incredible entry in the scene set to a parody of the I'm the sweet transvestite from Transsexual Transylvania.
Oh yeah, from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Yeah,
but it's not. It's diegetic. It's kind of like a musical thing. So he's not actually. He's not actually.
So that doesn't count.
A performer, yes, but it's worth actually hearing that. He's mainly an actor. So, but so the only musical characters that appear in season 4 are these 2 one-off parodies of Chris Brown and Rihanna, named Pretty Boy Flizzy and Christiana. And they were from the Pretty Boy Flizzy episode of...
What? It's not the story of Pretty Boy Flizzy? I call shenanigans.
Well, it's season 4. It's all new. It's all different people.
It's April 21st.
If he had been involved in this never would have happened.
No, yeah. So Pretty Boy Flizzy, whose real name was James Payton, was actually voiced by Michael B. Jordan, like in that instant right before he blew up. I mean, it's funny now looking back, like, he's a huge star. And
Oscar winner.
Yeah. And his songs include You Make Me Wanna Ugh, which is a combination of Usher's You Make Me Wanna and Master P's Make 'Em Say basically, and the song I Will Do Your Wife.
I wanna do your wife. I wanna do your wife. Do your wife. Do your wife. I wanna do your wife. Cause you a broke motherfucker, and you don't even know how to fuck up. You don't even cheat on us. You getting bored cause you don't even beat on us. That's where I come in. Freaking show with different strokes. Feel drumming. Call her from the plane. Tell her I'm coming. Later on my plane, she'll be coming.
Spoiler alert, he tries to do his attorney Tom's wife.
Yes.
Yeah. It's kind of the same gag as Gangstalicious, where they come true. The show went off the air after the 4th season, and HBO was Magruder was trying to get it, do a film adaptation of it. HBO tried to reboot it with Magruder involved, and he was going to be involved for the 5th season, but then it fell apart when HBO decided that they'd rather just gut themselves and throw things off their streaming network for no good reason. Yeah. So that whole craziness ended up kind of killing that project. Magruder hasn't been very public in the last few, really almost the last decade. I mean, the last major thing was 2017, I think. But hopefully he'll come back because he has a great comic voice, and I think that gave us some really good fake musicians. So, but in the meantime, the show is available on several different streaming services, and the strips you can actually get through TMX's favorite comic pirating site, or you can buy it from the bookstore. I think they're all still in print, but yeah. But they're definitely worth. And what's weird is that how much of it is still eerily accurate and prescient. It's like, ooh, this still applies. This is we haven't made a lot of progress in the last 20 some years. So, but they're worth checking out.
Okay, well, see, cartoons are just not for kids, and fake bands are not just for Vietnamese AI bots.
We still got that problem.
It's less. Now.
Oh, good.
Is it South Vietnam or North Vietnam?
I don't think they have those two anymore.
Oh, damn, I'm old. Damn it.
Until next week, I'm Charles. There's Alan.
See you later.
There's T-Mike.
See you in the funny papers.
And this has been the Rocklopedia Fakebandica. Thanks for listening. You've been listening to the Rocklopedia Fakebandica, a production of the Van Gogh Sketch Comedy Group. The hosts are Alan Benson, T-Mike Childs, and Charles Rempel. Our editors are Alan Benson and Charles Rempel. Please be sure to subscribe to the Rocklopedia on your service of choice so you never miss an episode. We'd love to hear from you, so leave a review or email us at fakebands@vgg.com. And don't forget to visit fakebands.com and the mothership, VGG.com. Thanks for listening.